The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks, coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you can download the Radio Lex app on your smartphone device to listen to us anywhere in the entire world. You can also stream us from the web at radiolex.us. Amber Turner and I are both broadcasting from the Deborah Hensley Studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. Amber, after I get that intro out, I'm out of breath.
Well,
Woo! I didn't mess up this time.
you never mess up.
I didn't mess up. What happened? If you listened to the last episode and I messed up on the intro, it's because we have a piece of plastic in front of Amber and I.
I call it the jailhouse view.
Yes, and it fell over on me during the intro, and it scared me. So that's why there was a little stutter last week.
Hey, quit harping on yourself. It's all right.
But it's great to be here. It is Thursday, October the 21st. Amber, it's so good to see you, as it is always, and it's good to be live on the air with you. But I want to start the show off talking about something that disturbed me a little.
Oh, if it's something I done, I'm sorry.
No, it's not anything you done. It's, I guess, I don't know who is responsible for this, but I was talking to some kids.
Yeah.
And these are students that are from Kentucky.
Okay.
Now, these are children. And I was talking to them. I said, hey, how's school going? How's everything going? And I know that school has changed for kids.
Yeah.
Public school has changed. But did you know that according to these kids, that spelling, the subject spelling, is not taught in schools today?
Hang on. Now, you mean that they don't have to go through and do like word banks like we used to do? Like nobody's getting up in the front of the class developing social anxiety, like misspelling words in front of everybody?
No.
That ain't a thing?
That's not a thing anymore.
Wow.
The subject, and I thought, spelling was one of those fundamental subjects that's one of the most important things for kids to learn.
Yeah, I would say it is.
Because you grow up, you're going to have to know how to spell. But is it now so important to know how to spell because of technology like autocorrect?
You mean autocorrect that loves to change every time I put bleep to duck?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think that we've gotten so reliant on it as a society. The school system's like, well, we don't need to teach spelling as a actual subject anymore. Now, they incorporate spelling in other things and papers and English literature and things, but to have it as a class where there's an actual spelling book and you're taking tests and you're having a whole class on spelling, according to these kids, and I've done some research, that spelling is not a subject that is taught, and that is partly to blame because of the National Common Core Standards that was released back in 2010. So it's been like this almost for a decade now.
Well, Lord, that makes a lot of sense now.
But because of autocorrect, I think that's why, and Google and spell check, I think that's why that's happened. But we can't be so reliant on autocorrect and our phones because, like you said, it can very much change our spelling pretty easily.
Very easily.
And change the whole context of your message.
Oh, yeah. These poor ducks out here think everybody hates them.
And I was disturbed by that because I care, Amber, about what is being taught to our children. I care about what is being taught here in America to our youth, and I think spelling is one of those subjects that's important.
It absolutely is. These are our future leaders, and if you don't know how to spell, then goodness grief.
It has been called now, the spelling subject has been called now the stepchild of the curriculum.
Oh, well,
yes.
I know a thing or two about that, so.
Yes, one person says we're less likely to self-monitor our spelling because we know the computer will do it for us.
Well, isn't this how like Terminator started or something like that? Computers taking over.
It really does. It really does frustrate me. Now, even with spelling being taught in school, I'm not the best speller.
Well, I'll plead the fifth on that comment.
So I just imagine what it's going to be like for these kids who grow up now, this generation that grows up without spelling classes. I wonder, you know what word has always been difficult for me to spell is the word restaurant.
Restaurant.
Restaurant. Even when I sound it out, I can't spell it.
Take a stab at it. Take a stab.
On the air?
Yeah, don't look at nothing.
R-E-S-T, rest. Right?
Yeah.
I got that, rest.
100%.
Ta, A. Right? Is that the next word? A?
I don't know. Are you?
Rest, ta, A, R-A-U-N-T. I don't know. I probably misspelled that. But even with spell check still won't correct it for me. So that's the thing. What are you going to do if you spell words so badly that not even autocorrect can get it right?
Well, now, look, I would love to say that's just a you problem, but I think that's an everybody problem.
Definitely is another.
That's my number one.
Well, that's a word that I can't spell. Even when I try to type it into my phone won't correct it.
And I say it all the time.
I say it all the time.
For a word I can't spell, I say it way too much.
My phone corrects it to defiantly.
Defiantly. Yeah, I'm being defiant, boys.
Who says defiantly all the time? Why don't
me? All the time, if you look at all my text messages.
Well, Oxford University, Amber, released a list of the world's, well, here in the English language, the most misspelled words in the English language. Are you curious to hear what they are?
I am, but I ain't spelling not a one of them.
Well,
I ain't doing it. Not today.
Well, so the number one misspelled word, according to Oxford University in the English language, is separate.
Separate.
Separate. Now, just take a stab at it, and you can write it if you want. But I
got it.
I can use it in a sentence if you would like for me to. But spell separate.
S-E-P-E-R-A-T-E.
That is incorrect. The correct spelling is S-E-P-A-R-A-T-E. Most people put an E where they're supposed to be an A.
Well, A before E, except if that don't count here.
The second most misspelled word is definitely, which we do it all the time.
I ain't doing that one.
The third is maneuver.
Maneuver. Okay.
Fourth is embarrass. 5 is occurrence. 6 is consensuous.
Now, I can spell occurrence.
7 is unnecessary.
Unnecessary is what I would say defiantly would be.
8 is acceptable.
I can do that.
Okay, the number 9 misspelled word in the English language is broccoli.
Okay.
Number 10 is referred.
Okay.
Number 11 is bureaucracy.
Well, I ain't trying that one.
Number 12 is questionnaire.
Okay.
13 is connoisseur.
Uh-huh.
Number 14 is interesting. Number 14 is a lot. That's 2 words, actually.
Yeah,
L-O-T. Yeah, but a lot of people will spell it with one word.
Well, you know.
15 is entrepreneur.
Okay.
16 is particularly. That's hard to say.
Particularly.
17 is consensus.
Okay.
And 18 is parallel.
Parallel?
Parallel.
P-A-R-R-E.
No, it is P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L. But
I would like to thank all my teachers in grade school for helping me pass this test today.
But you had spelling in school, and still yet you're having a hard time spelling these words. So I fear for our youth, because now spelling's not taught in school, and I guess we're not really given a good argument because we had spelling and we can't spell.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But it concerns me. It does.
Well, I just think it needs to be a core fundamental thing that's taught, because we were always taught growing up, especially with math, you ain't gonna have calculators everywhere you go. And if I had to sit and do long division, y'all can spell out mat, cat, and sat real easy. So
there are a lot of words in the English language. I think English is one of the hardest languages to learn.
It is.
Studies say that it actually is.
It is. We have so many meanings for words that are similar, and it's just, I think it's, what is it? Contradictory. We have a lot of contradictory words.
Well, we live in a world where bad means good.
Well,
so it just confuses me. When I'm sure it confuses somebody from a foreign place that when they hear our English words, but there's are a lot of words that we use in the English language. And Amber, there are words that make us cringe today.
Absolutely.
There's some words that just make us cringe. And even though if we can spell these words or not, when we say them out loud or when we hear other people say just certain words in the English language, it makes us cringe. Is there a word that you just hate to hear, no matter who says it?
I do, and I know I'm going to be so stereotypical right now, because I feel like a lot of people say they hate this word, but I don't like the word moist. And the reason why is because it is used in such sexual context that I feel like if I'm saying, oh, this cake is moist, everybody around me in the room is looking at me like, we know what she's thinking about. No! Y'all nasty. That's it.
I have a list, Amber, of the world's, according to Oxford University as well. These are the most cringeworthy words in the English language. This is done from
none of these either.
This is done from a survey of a bunch of people here in the United States. Moist was definitely in there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just have you know, squirt was the number one. The word squirt. You know, I don't mind the word squirt.
No, didn't we used to have a candy like back in the day? It was called Squirt.
Maybe.
Yeah, there was like a candy back in the day.
I like it because they sometimes call kids squirt.
Little Squirt.
So if you think about it,
Oh, no, I just got it.
If you think about it, it's like, that's where they get that name, Daddy's Little Squirt.
Oh, Lord.
But there is another word that people hate and just, they cringe when they hear it, and that's the word squelch.
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 What's that even mean? Can you use that in a sentence?
An excellent example of... let's see. Squelch came in third in the Cringe Awards. The word squelch made 45% of the people feel gross. Does squelch have an effect on you, or does it bother you, it says? It doesn't give a definition of what that is. I don't know what squelch is. Okay, secret is another cringeworthy word.
Secret?
Secret. Tie. Okay, another one is panties.
It's panties.
Yeah, back
It's
home.
just panties.
Back home, they call them panties.
We call them bloomers back home. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, some people back home call them panties. Defecate is another cringeworthy word. I don't mind that word either. I would rather hear the word defecate than the word
dump,
fart,
yeah,
or dump, or take a poop. He defecated. I like that word. Defecate. Flaccid is another cringeworthy word when people hear. Do you cringe when you hear the word flaccid?
No, but I only think about one thing, so that ain't got too many meanings.
What do you think about?
Well,
yeast is another cringeworthy word.
No, that ain't gonna do it for me.
Chunk.
No, that was actually my nickname when I was growing up. So.
Orifice.
No.
Ointment. Crevice. And orifice.
No, come on now.
Those are the top cringeworthy words according to people that they cringe when they hear it. They can't stand it.
Well, then they probably hate hearing us talk.
Well, they say that the reason people cringe when they hear certain words is because it brings back such bad negative memories.
I can agree with that.
So if flaccid is your flag word that just bothers you, it's probably because you've had some bad memories from something involving that. But I don't know. I think it's the words have power. There are power in our words, and it's just interesting because there's so many words in the English language.
Well, what word don't you like?
There are words. There's a couple words that I don't like, but I can't
tell me so I can write them down. So I make sure I say
off the top of my head. That's the thing. I don't want to give away the words that I like because people will come up and just say them to me all the time.
And you know it's going to be me.
Exactly. So if you have a word that you don't like, you can put it on the show thread. We'd love to hear from you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. We'll be right back after these words.
99, baby. I'm on the grind, baby. All the time, baby. Show me something.
You can do it, put your back into it.
I can do it, put your ass into it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. We're having some issues with our radio show thread. I don't understand what's going on. I guess it's just a problem with the internet. So I'm not sure what's going on. Always turn into 93.9 FM, and I can assure you that you'll get the best version of the show if you do that, because the Facebook is not always the best way to listen to our show. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live and in color. Amber, Halloween is approaching.
Our favorite time of the year.
It is approaching, and I love it. And it is, October 21st, so we are 10 days away.
Yep.
And because of it, we have several scary movies on TV.
Oh, yes.
And I've told you I already watched Signs.
You did not tell me you watched Signs. Why did you add that one on your list?
Okay, no, it wasn't Signs. What was it I watched? The Sixth Sense.
Okay, now, yes, that's a good one.
Yes,
okay.
The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
No, Signs is a great movie.
No.
But I did watch the Sixth Sense. Another one that I watched was The Poltergeist.
Okay.
Were you a fan of The Poltergeist?
I 100% was.
A freaky movie, especially the ending scene when the woman, she gets ran out to her swimming pool pool, and
Oh,
all
gosh.
the skeletons come up, and that's when she realizes that her house was built on top of a graveyard.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like a graveyard. It was all these people got led under and they were shut up in a cave. So it was just all these dead bodies that were shut up in this cave,
Yes.
basically.
I don't really understand exactly that whole movie because I've never watched it from the ins and outs of it. But I've seen so many documentaries on it.
You want a 15-second rundown?
Yes.
People move into a house. Unfortunately, there was a crazy man that was a preacher that decided to lead all of these people into this cave because they were going to be able to get, I think, to a higher power. And he killed everybody, so they haunted the house.
Okay, so I came in on the middle part, so that explains it. Okay, I was
Yes.
wondering how they even ended up there. But I saw a lot of documentaries on that film in the past, partly because of the rumors that circulate that film.
Yes.
A lot of people say that film, Poltergeist, was a cursed movie. They said that movie had a curse on it. Over the course of the original Poltergeist trilogy, listen at what all happened. Mm-hmm. Several cast members died tragically.
Yes, they did.
In 1982, the 22-year-old Dominique Dunn was murdered. She was the teenage daughter in the movie.
She was.
She was murdered by her boyfriend shortly after the release of the first film. Mm-hmm. 6 years later, 12-year-old Heather O'Rourke, she's the little girl on the
Yes.
cover of the movie.
Caroline.
Yes, she died of septic shock before the third movie was released.
She did. I think she had some kidney issues. I think she'd always had like kidney issues, and unfortunately, she did. She passed at 12.
Yeah, they say that movie just had it was cursed. And you hear about all kinds of movies in Hollywood that have curses on them.
Oh, yes.
The Hollywood curse. And it makes you wonder how this movie or why this movie gets cursed. Who knows? I think a lot of it has to do who knows what can be behind a cursed movie? Maybe the actor, the director, the producer, somebody on the film sold their soul to make this movie.
Oh, geez.
And maybe they sold out to a higher power other than God to have fame and to have this success because the Poltergeist was a successful movie.
Oh, the whole trilogy set was successful.
It was very successful, but I find the story of it being cursed more interesting than the actual trilogy itself. Just the whole cursed movie, I just found that fascinating. So it made me start looking into other cursed movies in Hollywood because The Poltergeist is not the only one.
No.
One of the biggest cursed movies ever to be produced is also a scary movie. The Exorcist. Now, we talked about The Exorcist last year on the show. It's one of those freaky movies that still stands the test of time today.
Unfortunately.
I mean, people were trying to knock people down to get out of the movie theater. It was scaring people so bad.
Well.
But a lot of freaky things happened around the Exorcist filming. One of the actors who died in the film ended up dying shortly after in real life.
Oh, wow.
Also, a set fire destroyed the home that they were shooting in. All of the rooms were turned to ash except the possessed Reagan's room, which was left unscathed.
Wow.
Nothing was wrong with it.
Makes you wonder.
Some crew members claimed that objects would also move around on their own, and actress Ellen Burstyn was severely injured during a fight scene with her fictional daughter. Nevertheless, the movie spawned 4 sequels, though.
Yeah, it did, and I watched all of them. I
Yes.
have all of them.
Yes, and but you sit and you think, why was The Exorcist possessed? I mean, they're making a movie about a little girl being possessed by the devil himself.
Well, don't tempt fate.
The Omen is another film that they say had a curse on it.
Now, is it the original or the remake?
The original.
Okay.
The 1976. So no one was seriously hurt during the filming, but chaos seemed to surround everyone involved. The star, Gregory Peck, and screenwriter David Zeltzer had their flights struck by lightning on the way to filming.
Well, I'd have turned back.
Director Richard Donner's hotel was bombed by the IRA, and members of the crew were caught in a car crash.
Wow.
The Crow is another scary movie that was they say cursed. Listen to this. Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, starred in The Crow, and he ended up being Brandon's final film because he was killed on the set in an accident with a gun.
Yes. And
The prop firearm was supposed to shoot blanks, but ultimately malfunctioned, fatally wounding him in the stomach.
yes.
He was rushed into surgery, but doctors were unable to save his life, and he died at the age of 28.
Fascinating story. I was obsessed with his death as a child, and I really don't know why, but because it was that fascinating. So I like that you put that one on there.
Right. Another one here is not the Twilight Zone TV show, but the Twilight Zone, the movie, was said to have a curse on it. It says, sadly, while the movie was filming, an accident led to the deaths of 3 of the film's actors. In one scene, Vic Morrow and 2 child actors were supposed to run from a helicopter, but the pilot lost control during the shoot and crashed into the actors, killing them all. All happened on the final day of filming. The movie did get released, but the accident cast a pall over its entire premiere.
Yeah.
Another movie that they said had a curse on it was The Passion of Christ. Now, I saw that and I was thinking this might be the most believable curse to have a curse on it. And people might think, well, that's wild. Why would a movie about Jesus have a curse on it? I don't know. If somebody asked me to play the role of Jesus Christ, I don't know if I would play it.
I don't think we're supposed to.
I don't think you're supposed to. I just don't think you're supposed to.
No.
Now, I get it. There's church plays and things like that, but I don't know. I don't feel comfortable playing the role of Jesus. I'm not even close to being God. Don't want to be.
Yeah, don't want to be.
But listen here. It says Jim Caviezel played Jesus in The Passion of Christ and endured a lot of hardship while filming the role. Among the incidents on set, he was struck by lightning, dislocated his shoulder, got pneumonia, and a lung infection, and he also suffered debilitating headaches. What's more, he wasn't even the only person to be struck by lightning on the set. Assistant John McKinley was also struck for the second time in his life. The odds of that are astronomical.
I think after the first person got struck by lightning, I would probably just wrap it up.
But this guy, his assistant, John McElhaney, was struck by lightning twice in his life. That's
not a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence. And doesn't that seem like something God would do to you? If God was going to do something to you, he'd strike you with lightning.
I mean, isn't that kind of what it says in the Bible, though? I mean, rain down fire from the heavens.
Now, I've heard of this curse before, the Superman curse.
Now, I don't know this one.
You've never heard of the Superman curse?
No, like, sincerely, I've never heard this
Have you
before.
never seen the movie Hollywoodland?
Hollywoodland.
It's got Ben Affleck in it.
Probably not. Not a huge Affleck fan.
Oh, that's crazy in itself.
Come on now.
But there is a movie called Hollywoodland. I think Ben Affleck's in it. But it's the story of Superman. So apparently, everybody that plays that role of Superman gets cursed.
Oh,
There's only been 2.
Reeves.
There's only been 2 that's not been. One's our favorite, Dean Cain, and there was another Superman that's not been cursed.
Yeah.
But everybody before that had a curse on him if they took the role of Superman. Listen to this. It says that George Reeves, not Christopher Reeves, George Reeves, played Superman in the 1951 film Superman and the Mole Men and the ensuing television series Adventures of Superman. He was too closely associated with the role to find further work. On June 16th, 1959, days before he was to be married, George Reeves was found dead of a gunshot wound at his home with his Luger, which is a gun, near him. The death was ruled a suicide, but controversy surrounds the death as Reeves' fingerprints were never found on the gun, and he had been having an affair with the wife of MGM executive Eddie Mannix.
Wow.
It was Reeves' death that inspired the conspiracy theories and the urban legend of a curse associated with the character. Okay, the next guy to take the role was Christopher Reeve, and he was paralyzed following a horse accident. And that is just terrible because you're talking about a guy who was a man's man.
On top of the world.
On top of the world. He was a sex symbol.
Yes.
People loved him. He was physically cut. Everybody loved him. The ladies loved him. And he paralyzed himself so bad he can't feel anything from the neck down.
Is it from the neck down?
From the neck down. So just terrible. And Margaret Kidder, who played Lois opposite Reeve, suffers from bipolar disorder. So and she didn't get diagnosed with that until after playing Superman. But is it a coincidence? Who knows? Here's another movie with a curse on it. The Wizard of Oz.
Ooh.
They say wasn't quite a fairy tale for the actors involved. Jack Haley was called in to play the Tin Man, but only after the original used to turn his skin silver. The aluminum that was used to turn his skin silver caused him to almost die because it got into his lungs.
Yes.
Yeah, so he backed out and didn't play the role because it just scared him too bad.
I don't blame him.
No. And there's also rumors that a Munchkin, how do you say that?
Munchkin?
Yeah, there was a little man committed suicide on the set of that movie.
I think you can even find videos of that.
That's in the movie.
Yeah.
When the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and Dorothy are walking down, skipping the Yellow Brick Road, if you look in the background, you can see the little man who they say that's him committing suicide. That's him hanging himself. Yeah. And that has been one of Hollywood's biggest like urban legend. They say, who knows? Some say that's a bird flying in the background.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, I bet you there's probably 20,000 different things people think it is. But I have physically seen it myself. I've watched it. I know what it looks like. You've seen it. You know what it looks like.
What could it be?
If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck,
it is one. So, Atuck is another film that they say is cursed, and you probably have heard that name, and you're thinking, what?
Wait, I've never even heard this.
It's because it never got made.
Okay.
The project, based on a 1963 Mordecai Rickler novel about an Eskimo in New York, had 4 different men attached to play the lead while in development, held through the 1970s and 80s. John Belushi was the first guy to play the star role. After he accepted the lead role, he passed away. So the next guy to take it was Sam Kinison. He took it. He passed away. The next guy they attached to the film as their lead was John Candy.
Oh, no.
He passed away.
Well.
And then the next guy they asked to play the role, and he accepted, and they attached his name to the film, was Chris Farley.
I was going to say.
And he passed away. All 4 died after attaching their name to the film. So Hollywood just called it off, and they shelved it for now. Mm-hmm. So if they ever decide to bring it back out into production, I wonder if anybody would accept that role.
I will never watch it. You took away 2 of the greatest men in this world, John Candy and Chris Farley. Get out of here. We need to have a seance over that film and burn it.
Okay, I got one more here. They say this movie had a curse on it too. The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight franchise is considered cursed for several reasons, it says. First of all, actor Heath Ledger, who played the Joker, died of an accidental overdose prior to the Dark Knight series, or the Dark Knight release. Additionally, one of special effects coordinators died during a car accident while filming. Morgan Freeman was severely injured in a car accident while filming the Dark Knight. Christian Bale was accused of attacking his mother and his sister, physically abusing his mother and sister while filming this movie.
What?
Then there was the tragic shooting in Aurora, Colorado during a screening of the sequel, The Dark Knight Rises. So, does The Dark Knight have a curse? I don't know. Does any of these movies have a curse? I don't know.
Just a lot of coincidences.
A lot of coincidences. Do I think curses exist? Absolutely.
100% they do.
Thinner. I love that movie.
Oh, what's the other one?
Lizard. For those who don't know what we're talking about one of Stephen King's classic movies, Thinner, when the gypsy puts a curse on the big fat man who weighs like 300 pounds.
Oh, it's over that.
And the gypsy goes up to him and rubs his face and says, thinner.
Yep.
And then he gets thinner and thinner and thinner every single day until he just evaporates.
Into thin air.
Mm-hmm. And that's a scary movie, but that's a curse. And I do think that there are people out there that have the power from other people to curse others. Now, I don't think that that's human power. No. I think that's supernatural power that's given to them from an evil source. But I do think that people and things can be cursed.
I agree with you on that. I mean, you were with me. Where were we at in California? Remember, we were walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and that gypsy pulled me in, told me somebody had put a curse on me. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yes, that was very scary. That was scary. We were, 18, 19 years old?
Yeah.
Already by ourselves in downtown L.A. at, 11 o'clock at night?
Do you think there was any fact to that?
I'd like to think that if there was, my dear Lord has taken care of me.
That's all you can do to protect yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. We'll be right back after these words. Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. People are still refusing to get this vaccine, even after companies are telling them that they must get it. Some people are even saying that they'll quit their job before they get this vaccine. Some people say if they don't quit, let them fire me, they say. Well, so many people are still not getting the vaccine. Kyrie Irving is one of these people. Kyrie Irving is a basketball player, Amber. I don't know if you know who he is, but he thinks that he doesn't need the vaccine. He's taken a stance against it. He refuses to get the vaccine. He says he is doing so because he wants to stand up for those who have lost their jobs for their refusal to get vaccinated. He says he does not have any intention on retiring from basketball, but see, Kyrie Irving plays for the New York Knicks, and New York is one of those states that is requiring for all the residents to get it. And so he could happily go to another team, make money, and not have to take the vaccine because it wouldn't be required. But because his job is in New York, he has to get it. And now he's saying that he is going to not get the vaccine, and no other team is picking him up right now. He is set to lose millions of dollars.
Well,
millions. You're a moron, Kyrie. You're a moron if you are somebody who is placed in a position like you are that makes millions of dollars, and you're letting something like that get into your way of making your millions. When people, Amber, will stick their tongue in things, that ungodly things that I know that I can't say on the radio, and they'll put their mouth on things that I can't say on the radio, but people won't put a vaccine in the body. It confuses me because I've seen some of the people that certain people kiss. I've seen some of the people that certain people have sex with.
I feel like you were looking right at me right now.
It's hard not to look at you. You're across from me. But the fact that people are saying that I don't want the vaccine because I don't know what it'll do to my body. Well, did you ever think what sleeping with so-and-so would do to your body if you sleep with that whore? What do you think that will happen there? Do you not think that you'll get sexually transmitted diseases that could kill you? Absolutely. So somebody in his position that is going to give up money like that, it boggles my mind. He's not the only one. Washington State University head football coach Nick Rolovich, he's the highest paid employee for that university, makes $3 million a year. Got fired because he refused to get the vaccine. So he went from making $3 million a year to $0 a year. If I was his wife, I'd leave him.
Now, look, I'm over here sitting. I've not talked about it. I've not said anything about it. But, we took our vaccine. We did. We took our vaccine. And immediately after I took my first dose, what happened?
When you took your first dose, you got COVID arm.
I got what's known as COVID arm.
Yes.
If you are not familiar with COVID arm, you can actually look that up on the CDC's actual website. It is a delayed immune response reaction that only happens to women and only happens to women who have Moderna. So I do see why people have their, hesitations, because I'm now experiencing another setback from this COVID vaccine I took, which is called scalded mouth syndrome.
Let me ask you a question. If you had to get it over again.
No.
Okay, let me ask you this now. If you made $2 million a year, let's say $3 million a year.
I'd be making $3 million less.
Really?
I pride myself in understanding my body, and I pride myself, a lot of people know I'm trying to become a professional athlete myself. So to see the havoc that has been wreaked on my body, and if people want to say anything to me, I have all of my detailed medical records because I've had to go back and forth to the doctor how many times since I've taken this vaccine? At least 5 or 6 now, just to be like, yo, am I dying? Like, am I going to die today? So again, I'm just going to hold the same stance that I held. If I were in their position, I would absolutely 1,000% be $3 million poor.
Oh, no, I'd take my $3 million and take the risk because I know what these people who are saying I'm against the I'm anti-vaccine or not anti-vaccine or I'm anti the COVID shot. I just know what these people do. A lot of these people probably do in their personal life, what they put their mouth on.
Oh, now come on now.
I'm serious.
Come on now. We're talking about two totally different things. We're talking about immune responses. My entire body
you can sleep with somebody and get AIDS.
Yeah, wear condoms.
Yeah, but
condoms.
Yeah, but people don't.
Then that's on them. If you choose not to wear the condom, everybody can have sex. If you choose not to do it, but when you're telling me I have to get something put into my body to be able to come to work, and then I know I'm not the only person out there in the world that has had this, delayed reaction, this delayed immune response reaction. My body is attacking itself because I took something that I was told I had to take.
ESPN reporter Allison Williams is another one who got fired from ESPN due to her not getting the vaccine. Deanne Stevens, people may know, she is an anchor here in Lexington. Of 27 years, she served WKYT as an anchor. She was fired due to not getting the shot. Now, she said that she had notes from her doctor saying that she was not a recommended candidate to get the vaccine. But WKYT ignored that and fired her. So all of these people are refusing the vaccine, and they're losing their jobs. There's a lot of people who are refusing the vaccine. Jenny McCarthy.
Don't even bring up that clown.
Jim Carrey.
Or that clown.
They are saying that the reason they won't get it is because they feel that vaccines is a big cause of autism.
Oh, well, we've already dispelled that. We dispelled that years ago and years ago.
Rob Schneider says he feels like he is being part of a experiment, so he feels like that he shouldn't get it. Jessica Biel is refusing to get it. Robert De Niro is refusing to get it. Alicia Silverstone, she states that the number of vaccines given to children has increased compared to 20 years ago, and she writes, there has not been a conclusive study of the negative effects of such a rigorous one-size-fits-all shoot-'em-up schedule.
Thank you.
Kristen Cavallari, she said that she's very scared of they are very scary statistics out there regarding what is in vaccines. She's talking about vaccines in general and what they cause. Asthma, allergies, ear infections, all kinds of things. We feel like we are making the best decisions for our kids. Now, so a lot of people are saying that there's reasons why they're not getting it, medical reasons. But
well, just like Alicia Silverstone said, though, it's not a one-size-fits-all. I am a huge advocate for vaccines. Vaccines are the reason that, we have eradicated some things. All I'm saying is just make sure you're doing your research about how your body is going to react to this vaccine, not how, Adam's body reacts to it or even how Amber's body reacted to it, which we all know is bad. Just do your research. Check with your medical provider.
Yes, everyone needs to do their research. I do not think that people should be made to get the vaccine. All I'm saying that if I was making $5 million a year and they said, Adam, we're going to take away your $5 million a year if you don't get the vaccine, I'd say, okay, give me the vaccine. I just know, I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
You've seen the complications that I have had, though. You see all of the struggles I've had over the last 6 weeks. Would you still, if there was a potential, so say you got COVID arm when you first took that shot and, you would have developed other things, would you still be quick to say, yeah, I'll take that money?
For $5 million, yes. For $50,000 a year, no. For $100,000 a year, no. $5 million a year, yes. Well, I would risk a lot for $5 million because that's just a lot of money. And it's just blowing my mind that people like that is coming out and saying, I'm not for a vaccine. and
but
they're
they already got all kinds of money anyways. They don't care.
yeah, but they're so used to that lifestyle.
Hopefully they've been saving a little. Save a little at the save a lot.
Save a little at the slave a lot. Well, ladies and gentlemen, why don't you roll down them windows and enjoy a little off-the-cuff music, because it is now time to play a little off-the-cuff song of the week, and we'll take off-the-cuff song of the week break with a little I Ain't No Joke by Eric B. Raycam.
I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it when I'm done and make sure it's broke when I'm gone.
You gotta love 80s hip-hop music. I always enjoy any song that I hear, usually from the 80s.
I like that one.
I just want to clear something up. I'm not telling people that I am saying that people should go out and be made to get the vaccine. I hope that's not the message that I was... I hope that's not what it sounded like. I think that everybody has the right, and I will always stand by saying do your own research. All I said was if I made $5 million a year, I would get it. And I
This
think
is all about the Benjamins, baby.
yes, and I think it's stupid. And this is just my opinion. This is off the cuff with Adam Banks, right? I think this is I think it's stupid when somebody makes that much money, but they're letting a vaccine get in their way when I know they're out here doing.
Oh, you about to make me flip his table right now.
Grosser things. No, I'm not talking about you. I was talking. I'm mainly talking about you don't make $5 million a year.
What about if I do and you just ain't know it?
I'm talking about people like Kyrie who make $5 million a year.
You know I don't make $5 million a year. I couldn't even spell separate earlier. Come on now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. We'll be right back with one more segment after these words.
Somebody told me that you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend, that I hadn't found you. I really liked you. It's not confidential. I got potential.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. Last segment of the hour. Just a few follow-up stories and a few updates. We talked about UK facing Georgia. UK was ranked number 11. They were facing off against the number 1 team, Georgia. They did lose that game. The final score was 13-30. Georgia with the win. The betting line was minus 44.5, or it was 44.5 was the over-under, and I told everyone to go under, and if you listen to me, you won some free money because it did go under 44.5. Just the latest, have you heard that LSU is now interested in possibly hiring Mark Stoops?
Oh, well,
I hope
they need to listen to Off the Cuff, and Adam will tell them all about Mark Stoops real quick.
I wish they would. I just
Send them a clip.
I wish they would. I'm saying I just wish. I mean, no, I'm not even going to get on that. But anyway, I don't think that's going to happen. He's got it made here. He won't leave. Why would he leave? The fans love him for the most part.
Except for.
And I think that his success here has set him up for as long as he wants to stay here. So it would be a bad business move for him to leave. I think the only thing that would make him budge a little would be Florida State. Because that's where he came from before he came to Kentucky, and I know he's got some dealings with Florida State.
Okay.
But it is a bye week this week, so Kentucky does not play. Our next game is not this Saturday, but next, and we'll face off against Mississippi State. I don't look for us to win that game. I think that we'll come out of the bye week with a loss, but we'll reevaluate that next week. Also, before we go, I just want to give an update on this Gabby Patino story because we talked about it before but haven't touched on it since we talked about it. They found out that the cause of death for her was strangulation.
Yes, manual strangulation.
Brian Laundrie is still missing. The dude who's allegedly killed her, right? He's still missing, and now they're saying that they have found body remains.
Just human remains, I think is all they've said.
Human remains, and they're trying to find out whose human remains they are because did you know that while they were searching for Brian Laundrie, they found several different remains of different people from the past?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I just, I've tried to, again, not put a whole lot of, opinion out there. Everybody's got their opinion opinion about Brian Laundrie, but Adam, I found it a little bit weird, just a little bit woo, that they found stuff maybe pertaining to him after his mommy and daddy finally went out on the first day that they went out searching for him. And, I've tried to be pretty neutral about all this, but I'm going to go ahead and say that's a little weird.
Wait, what happened?
His parents haven't went out and searched for him at all. And now, they have found these human remains and potential items belonging to him. And it was on the first day, the very first day, his mom and dad went out to do a search. It's a little sketch to me.
That is.
First day.
Something is shady about his parents. I get it, that's his parents, but you got to do the right thing. If your son is a monster, you have to just own that.
Don't just do the right thing, like you said. Just do the right thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up for another episode of Off the Cuff. Time has flown by once again. You can listen to all of our previous episodes by subscribing to us on podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow Off the Cuff on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow my co-host Amber on social media at Ambu447. You can follow me on social media at The Adam Banks. Ladies and gentlemen, we release new episodes of Off the Cuff every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM. That is Ember Turner. I'm Adam Banks, and this is Off the Cuff. We'll see you next Thursday from 4 to 5.
Volcanoes erupting, rhymes overflowing, gradually growing. Everything is written in the code.